Hi, I'm Kim and you're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. Before I get going with this video, I just want to take a moment to thank our friend Barbara very much for your donation to our channel's PayPal account. Now, this is a very exciting video because I have my dear friend Chanel with me again. And you guys know Chanel from the wonderful channel Kill Jezebel. Now, Chanel, you've got a lot of great announcements coming up today. Let's start with your Christmas event that you have planned in New York for victims and survivors of narcissistic abuse this year.
Yes, we're gonna have, first of all, thanks for having me, Kim. You look fabulous.
You too, darling.
And happy holidays to you. Yes, I usually have my monthly support group meetings at one location. You know, the people that do attend monthly, they know where that location is. But for Christmas, we're going to meet up at a nice restaurant and have a good time. So like a small little dinner outing in New York City, holiday style. You know, everyone that's in New York is welcome to come out. It's Sunday, December 15th. I want to do it before Christmas. So if you're interested, just RSVP. They can email me. I'll give you the email address and they can just RSVP and let me know they're coming and I'll give them the location.
Okay, and I'll put Chanel's email address in the description below.
Yes.
So if you are in New York City, do not feel alone this holiday season. Nothing is going to warm your heart like getting together with other friends and survivors who really understand your situation. Now, something really exciting is coming up and you are going on tour and you are hitting two real big cities.
Yes.
Which one are you hitting first?
Next week, Saturday, December 8th, I will be in the UK. I will be in London at the Pushkin House, 4 p.m. The name of my event is called Crumpets and Conversations About Narcissistic Abuse. The tickets are incredibly low. You can RSVP again with me and, you know, RSVP and secure your seat. It's 1 week away, so I would urge you because seats are running out. Seating is limited.
Now, we've got lots of wonderful friends here at my channel who are from the UK. So guys, if there's any way you can get to London and you want to meet Chanel in person, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I certainly encourage you to contact Chanel. Again, the email address will be in the description below. And you will be promoting your book there.
Yes, I will. There'll be hors d'oeuvres, wine, of course, crumpets, you know, little eateries, little pastries, and a good time. And also Toronto. Let me get Toronto,
That's
and
right.
I will be in Toronto, Canada, on Saturday, January 19th. There's a huge event. There's a women's march in Toronto that starts at noon. I think they're meeting. I can't remember the meeting place, but I'll have a flyer for that, 12 to 3 p.m. on Saturday the 19th. So 4 to 6 p.m., I will also be doing a seminar at the H Bar, which is downtown Toronto, Queens West Street. Come on out, ladies. Come on out. After that march, you're going to be feeling empowered, and we're going to talk about these toxic relationships and these narcissists and have a good time and fellowship.
Now, I'm going to tell you, I think this is incredible, and we absolutely both have seen a tremendous effort, especially here at YouTube, by what I call the three narc stooges of YouTube. Who are doing everything in their power to discredit me, you, David DeMars, and, you know, have been absolutely transforming their YouTube channels into not only smear videos or smear campaigns, but absolute smear channels. And I think we agree that the intention is not just to harm me or you or David, but really to damage our community, to cause distrust, to drive people apart, leave people feeling confused. So what you're doing, you know, is really bringing people together, especially in such big urban centers. And guys, I'm from downtown Toronto and I love Toronto. And for those of you in the Toronto area or in the GTA, make sure you get in touch with Chanel because you certainly want to attend. And have you been to Toronto before?
This is my first time. I heard a lot of great things. I have a lot of friends there, so I am excited. I'm at the H bar, so I have a whole private floor booked out. So come on out. Let's do it.
Absolutely. And I think this really flies in the face of these narcissists who have been determined to damage our community. They're coming in with their smear campaigns, trying to disrupt things, and you're going in there and you're pulling everybody back together. And I think that's absolutely fabulous. Now, one of the things Chanel and I have been able to discuss prior to me hitting the record button here is you've had some online cyberbullying, smear campaigns running, and I know that they are under a federal investigation right now, and you can't really discuss the details, but you said something to me that is really important, Chanel. You said that you feel absolutely compelled to fight back. And for so many survivors, they're exhausted, they're beaten down, they're suffering, you know, the effects of gaslighting, adrenal fatigue. Where's it coming from? Where are you getting the strength to fight back?
You know what? It's a spiritual thing. You know, I have a really deep conviction for my spirituality. I feel heavily connected to the universe and to the Creator. And I feel like people like myself and you, Kim, and many others, we have become God's warriors. We have become, you know, we're on the front line. Who else can take on these demonic creatures other than those of us who have looked at them in the face? We have slept with them. You know, we have gotten over the abuse. We have become stronger and resilient. These are the types of people that are going to be front line on, you know, in God's army. So why not me? Why not? How, you know, who else is going to take on the battle? And if I'm going to die doing something, I'd rather do it knowing Hi, I'm here. Can you see me? Okay, yeah. My phone is that for a minute. I'd rather go out knowing I was being a blessing to so many. Yes. That I was fighting for not just my life, but for countless others. So it's a sacrifice. It's the same sacrifice that our Lord and Savior made for us. That's what keeps me going.
I will tell you, I mean, the smear campaigns against me have been absolutely relentless.
Outrageous.
And, you know, if it was not for my faith in God, I probably would have collapsed under the weight of it. But through my faith in God, I actually find humor in it, as you do. I mean, I believe it's that faith in God because, you know, you guys see this video, but you didn't see the 20 minutes prior where the both of us were rolling over laughing, you know, at how absolutely disgusting these creatures look, you know. And I mean, you have to fight back at some point. Now, something that we've talked about and something that our mutual friend David Demars has really been pushing out into the forefront is a petition that's online right now, and that is called Shane's Law. And what Shane's Law is about is trying to get the courts, police authorities, the justice system aware of how many victims of narcissistic abuse ultimately commit suicide. The numbers are staggering, and every time we lose a fellow empath that way, that's a blow to each and every one of us. It's horrifying to me to think that someone would have felt so alone, so isolated, so without any hope or options at suicide.
Or support.
No support. No, and that's why I really think it's so important what you're doing, you know, having this Christmas event. And, you know, this can be a very sad time of the year for people when they've been forced into isolation, their family and friends, you know, the relationships have been challenged because of the narcissist. It's a very hurtful time for people to be alone. So, yes, that's a wonderful thing that you're doing, you know, pulling people out of that isolation and forming some camaraderie. But, you know, I think Shane's Law is something as a collective we really need to be aware of, and aware of the risks and pitfalls and how important it is not to allow yourself to isolate. You could have isolated, I could have just sunk into a state of total despair. And, you know, suicide becomes a possibility for people in a case like this. And sadly, you know, we've lost so many people. And I'm just so grateful that you're doing this. But
the way, you know, the Shane Law, that approach, you know, going to the lawmakers, you know, to you know, become more vigilant against these fucking monsters. And then we have to do a grassroots effort to attack it at the root.
Yes.
So it takes warriors like you, me, so many in this community that are fighting like hell.
Yes.
And then we got to pull as victims become educated and stronger, we pull them into the army and we build our army.
Now, one of the things you and I have discussed before is, you know, I don't mind being that whipping post, you know, if it allows our friends, you know, within our collective to witness that firsthand and see how diabolical and disgusting, you know, these smear campaigning maniacs are, you know. But as we've discussed too, you get exhausted from it. I mean, you really do get worn down from it. I get hundreds of emails a week, people telling me what's going on at the batshit crazy Mourning Hostages channel, this dingbat from the UK, I can't even remember that crazy thing's name, you know, and this guy from New York, and it just goes and goes. And in addition to this being criminal harassment, criminal stalking, cyberbullying, I mean, they're violating every one of YouTube's policies.
Yeah.
You know, this crazy Mourning Hostage actually all through her keywords now has, you know, Kim Wilson TV. She actually lists her own name as Evening Ransom DeMars, like she's married to David. Like, these violate YouTube's policies, and you know, they risk having their channels taken down. They fully expose themselves, but they are so obsessed. I mean, the obsession towards me and you and David, it's like, what are we looking at here? Oh my God.
My only thing is, you know, victims aren't aware that these are federal. We're not even talking about city, state, local. These are federal crimes that these monsters are committing on YouTube. It's just the victims haven't come forward to file those complaints. But trust and believe, if a gang of us come together and file charges, they're going to prison.
Yes.
They're going to prison. What they're doing is breaking federal laws. Okay. So it's just a matter of time. But I'm not backing down. I'm going to fight every step of the way, because they target, they stalk, they obsess. They don't know how to change, you know, the subject. They just keep harping and harping one video after the next, instead of, like, you know, helping others to heal. You're spewing hatred and negativity and vitriol, you know, all over this community. And this is not what this community needs at all.
I mean, on one hand, I've been kind of grateful because, I mean, we've got no question what those three stooges are. But, you know, it does. It gives people a holy cow. You know what? If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And no, but a narcissist behaves that way. No one displays that type of, like you said, vitriol, hatred, envy, the obsession, the compulsion. They just can't stop. I mean, just can't stop. Absolutely obsessed. And, you know, again, before we hit the record button here, we were talking about what that feels like. You know, these people don't exist in our mind. They don't exist in our lives.
Thank you. They don't. Imaginary competition. That's what I call imaginary competition.
Yes, but meanwhile, in their lives, we are the source of what drives them. I mean, they're absolutely obsessed to their core. I'm going to tell you that Mourning Hostage's husband hears my name before he hears his own every morning. I will guarantee it. He hears my name more in a day than he hears his own. She is literally consumed by all things Kim Wilson. Like, she's absolutely, I mean, as parasitic, and it's kind of you know, worrisome when you think about people who are in a very vulnerable state, who are very shaken, who are really not thinking clear from the gaslighting. And this is what Shane's Law is about. This woman
Yes.
has been brutalized in a public smear campaign, cyberbully. It affected her career. It affected her home life. It ultimately affected her residency and challenged all of her relationships. She was brutally smeared, and people believed it, and there was a terrible backlash. She saw no hope. She had no friendship, and she killed herself.
Yeah, it's awful.
Oh,
Terrible.
God. It's awful. It really is. And I'm glad that these creeps chose us to pick on Chanel.
Yeah, because I'm not committing suicide no time soon. I'm kicking ass. I'm kicking ass.
Yeah.
I'm kicking ass.
Well, what a great job you've done. Now, you're a little newer on the scene. I'll tell you, years ago, we had this before. It was a very, very disordered individual, and her name was Serena Nightshade. It was before your day. But years ago, Serena Nightshade was a narc, like these three creeps, and she was attacking a couple by the name of Mark and Rinda Smith, who are YouTubers. Rinda Smith was so horrified by the abuse that she actually withdrew from YouTube. Fortunately, her husband's been able to carry on. But it absolutely forced her off of YouTube. She just couldn't take it anymore. And I'll tell you, Rinda Smith had helped a lot of people. And that was a terrible loss for our community.
Yeah.
What ultimately happened is this Serena Nightshade had so gravely exposed herself. And what she was doing, well, the exact same as this morning hostage, contacting other YouTubers in our genre saying, hey, help me smear campaign this person, right? So she contacted me, she contacted David, and we immediately alerted that couple, right? Like, holy cow, you got a live one here. And that's what happened when Morning Hostage wanted to attack me. She contacted some very reputable YouTubers, tried to get them to attack me. They immediately notified me. So the same thing is going to happen that happened to Serena Nightshade. I mean, she will have fully exposed herself to the other YouTubers. Mm-hmm. They're going to be absolutely disgusted by her behavior. Viewers, subscribers catch on very, very quickly.
They will.
And her channel tanked. She absolutely committed YouTube suicide. I mean, she just vanished after utterly humiliating herself in a very public way. And even without like police investigations and things, this type of public YouTube suicide definitely, flushes them down the drain, because they're pieces of shit.
Well, the saying, the ditch you dig for me will be the very same ditch you fall into yourself. So that's what happens. They dig their own ditch trying to kill you and throw you in a ditch, and they end up falling in it themselves. Yes. Self-suicide. Yes. So, hey, let them sabotage themselves. They're doing a great job of it.
Now, just before we go and before we wrap this up, when this smear campaign was launched against you by your ex, that was pretty brutal. And of course, we all know that he was posting nudes of you and mentioning your child and very taboo subjects. I mean, things that only a narc would go to. Yeah. Oh, there you are, smiling again. What was it? Because I know when that smear campaign is dumped on me, there's that moment of, oh my God, with the heightened panic, the anxiety. What I do is I immediately start to pray. What do you do, like when you're really feeling threatened and attacked like that?
I disengage from social media. I deactivate my Facebook, and I do pray because it is a spiritual demonic attack, and I have to go breathe. And then the next step is the authorities. Okay. But it's tremendous anxiety. My stomach turned. I just said, it's been 2.5 years, dude. You're 44 years old and you're sitting up doing this. Really? Why aren't you happy with the woman you cheated on me with? Or, why me? Why are you stalking my Instagram? You see that I'm happy. I've moved on, and you're still trying to destroy me. So, actually it's a blessing because it needed to happen. He held onto my nude photos, and he was going to dump them at some point. He was planning and plotting. So now that it's over, And now that the law has taken over, he's going to get what's coming to him. So it needed to happen.
Okay, so for anyone watching this video, for anyone being smear campaigned right now, that feeling of panic, stress, that moment of feeling hopeless, this is very natural. And
Yes.
this pass, right? And that's what happens to me. I don't want to pretend that it doesn't affect me. I don't want to pretend I'm not hurt by it, because I mean, I want to keep a brave face and let people know there's hope beyond it. But that moment of just feeling sick to your stomach, that's real. And when you experience that, that is not a sign that you're in a hopeless situation. That's a very natural reaction to cyberbullying and a criminal attack that's being launched against you. And many people have written to me and said, I can't get past this. And I say, no, you can. This feeling is very natural.
Yeah. Yeah. And I immediately, the next day, I went to my regular family doctor and talked to her. You have to talk to somebody. You have to vent.
Yes.
Okay. Don't hold it in and embrace the feelings. It's totally normal to have, anxiety, to have the stomach pains and all the nausea. I get nauseated. I get sick to my stomach.
Me too.
And, I got to disengage from social media, because social media is very dangerous if you keep reading and reading and reading. It's abusive. Well, you know what they're doing. Turn it off, disengage, get away, go talk to somebody. And more importantly, go to the police.
Yes.
Build your case. I
agree. And this is really important for people to screen save everything, screen capture it. I know it can be painful to look at it. You and I have been very fortunate, because we don't look at any of those smear videos about us, but we have a lot of friends here, online that do capture stuff for us. I certainly have a lot of people that have kept records of these smear campaigns, so I don't have to look at it. And you're very much like me that way, where you just disengage from social media. I don't make videos, because it almost like I can feel all that toxic energy, and I don't regurgitate any of it,
Yeah.
When it comes to a positive message of hope. Oh, my little friend Einstein's back.
He's so cute.
Well, his name's Einstein, but every now and then he tries to get in the garbage, and we call him Einswine. He's such a good boy. He was a very feral, hissing, spitting, tiny little cat. But very quickly he realized feral is not the way to go. He likes sleeping on pillows. He likes cuddling up with people.
Oh,
you got him to the heart, didn't you? Yeah, he really.
Thank you so much. This has been very informative and therapeutic. Even though the goal is to help others as well, but you've helped me so much in this little bit of time. It just feels good to get it out and to help people in the process. So next week's going to be great.
It's going to be. So guys, there's a Christmas event in New York City with Chanel. She will be speaking live in London, England. And I've got lots of friends here at the channel from the UK, so please get in touch and book your seat. And for those of you from my hometown, she will be in the GTA in downtown Toronto coming up soon. So that's really exciting news. And will you have copies of your book with you?
Yes, I will.
And you guys make sure you get a copy of her book and have her sign it while you're there.
Yes, thank you. 1 week away, guys, so hurry up. The event is next week in London at the Pushkin House.
Thank you so much, as always, Chanel, and it's always very therapeutic for me. And as one target of online narcissists to another, I really, really learn a lot from your strength, and it's always great when we can get together and kind of, join forces and talk.
There's strength in numbers, good or bad. So they do their little dirt in their numbers, but you know what? The good guys, we come in numbers too. We have our army too, and good always wins over evil.
It always does. The truth will always rise to the top.
That's
guys,
right.
I hope that you're going to get a chance to meet up with Chanel at one of these events. And as always, thank you so much for watching Kim Wilson TV today. I'm Kim, and I hope you guys are having a great narc-free day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.